Hello everyone, today I'm finally going to tell you about Blood-Soaked Iris, the story I've been working on. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen me mention it before, though I've been pretty vague about the details. But in this video that's going to change. The character I'm drawing in the background is Casper Ime, one of the two main characters of my story. I'll be introducing both him and the world of Blood-Soaked Iris, so let's get right into it. To start off, Blood-Soaked Iris takes place in a fictional world set in a vague time period somewhere between the 1700s and the late 1800s, called Reelland. Blood-Soaked Iris mainly focuses on the region of Terplat and Terremont, two neighboring countries that have never had the best relationship and are actively at war at the time of the story. Blood-Soaked Iris is actually one of the two stories that take place in this universe. The other one is currently nameless and barely developed, but the other regions will be explored more in that one. Our main characters are special soldiers from Terplat, and we will mostly be following their perspective. Terplat is divided into 7 regions: Nobleel, Oostveld, Westvelde, Dormer, Ootwater, Meerschale, and Bennout. Each of these regions have a person in charge of overseeing it. Bennout is always overseen by the royal family, while the other regions have a member of the Narcissus in charge of them. They kind of function like a spokesperson for people in that region. These positions are not limited to nobility either. Most of the current Narcissus come from humble backgrounds. The way to obtain these positions is to be elected by the people. The people put their trust in the Narcissus to do the best they can and represent them as well as possible. Anyone can be a Narcissus, from a wanderer to your local friendly boss. Now that you've kind of got an idea of what the world looks like, let's move on to the story. Several years before the start of the story, a genius scientist that went by the name Dusk used to work under the current King Ardit, and they even were good friends for a long time. The scientist's work slowly got more and more morally questionable. Eventually, Ardit had to make the hard decision to fire Dusk. Dusk moved away to a remote village near the edge of Oostveld. There he continued his questionable work. Now we finally get to our main character. One day, Dusk conceived an idea so monstrous, so utterly devoid of humanity, that would cement his legacy as a madman. He sought to create the ultimate weapon. Not a machine, not a beast, but something far more terrifying. A human sculpted from nothing, stripped of will and bred for obedience. A being that knew no love, no sorrow, no hesitation, only the cold absolute meant to kill. And thus from the depths of cruelty and twisted ambition, Casper was born. Casper was never treated like a person, only a weapon. Beaten, starved, conditioned to obey, he knew nothing but pain and bloodshed. That was until one day the Golden Guild, the before-mentioned elite soldiers, stormed Dusk's lair. Among them was Aureliana Castiel. She expected to find a weapon, but instead she found a boy, collapsed, exhausted, and barely alive. When Dusk ordered him to fight, he tried, and he failed. And for that he was beaten without mercy. Aureliana, unable to stand by, struck Dusk down in a fury. But even with the Stormender dead, Casper lay broken, silent, and nameless, unsure if he was even allowed to still exist. Kneeling beside him, Aureliana did something that no one had ever done before. She spoke to him like a person. When he had no name, she gave him one, Casper Ime. And for the first time, he wasn't just a weapon, he was someone. Taking him in was no easy task. Many saw him as too dangerous to live. Even the king himself. But Aureliana refused to let him be discarded. Slowly, with trust and time, Casper began to believe that he was more than Dusk made him. Casper eventually became part of the guild. And even though he still struggles to see himself as a person at time, Aureliana refuses to let him see himself as unworthy of a life. Unfortunately, their story does not have a happy end yet. A year and a half after Caspar was freed, tragedy struck. Queen Crystal, the only member of the royal family who had chosen to give Caspar a chance, was found dead, poisoned. The toxin was traced back to a plant native to only Terremont, and with tensions already high, war was inevitable. Terplat declared war on Terremont, and for the past 4 years, the bloodshed has continued. Caspar and Aureliana both fought restlessly, but something always felt off. The pieces don't fit. The war started too easily, too clean, like someone had planned it all out. And then a mysterious figure appeared. They both quickly recognized him as the missing heir to the Terremont throne, Prince Achille. With him, he brings proof that the war, the assassination, everything was orchestrated by a third party hiding in the shadows. But just revealing the truth won't be so simple. The war won't just stop because they say so. Aureliana, Caspar, and their allies must unravel the full conspiracy before it is too late, before even more lives are lost. I would describe Blood-Soaked Iris a bit like a huge puzzle. Every single character has a piece of a puzzle, most often without realizing it, and it is up to our main characters to put those pieces together and discover the truth behind this war. That's the core of Blood-Soaked Iris. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into my story. If you'd like to hear more, please check out my other videos. Until next time, bye bye!